Waffles, the pampered orange tabby, lived the life most house cats dream of. Soft beds, warm laps, and meals served like clockwork. He had never known the world outside his cozy home, except for the occasional trips to the vet or short stints on the front porch. But like all cats, Waffles retained some of the instincts and traits of his wild ancestors. His midnight prowling around the house, something that initially seemed like mere curiosity, would soon lead to an encounter that changed everything. Waffles' owner, Emma, had grown accustomed to his nighttime antics. She would often find him perched by the living room window, watching the outside world with intense focus. At first, she assumed Waffles was keeping an eye on the local birds or the occasional squirrel that ventured near the house. However, one cold winter night, things took an unusual turn. As Emma made her way downstairs, she heard Waffles mewing louder than usual, a sound that bordered on distress and excitement. Rushing to the living room, she was met with an extraordinary sight. Outside the window, pressed against the glass, was a large, spotted cat. It wasn't another house cat but a bobcat, lying comfortably beside Waffles as if the two were old friends. Emma froze, her heart pounding with a mix of awe and fear. Waffles had always been territorial and indifferent to other cats, so seeing him purring contentedly next to a wild bobcat was beyond anything she had expected. She had once fostered a few shelter kittens, and Waffles had reacted with hissing and irritation. Yet, here he was, seemingly smitten with this majestic creature. The bobcat continued to return night after night, and Waffles, captivated by his new friend, would follow her movements from window to window. Despite Emma's concerns about the bobcat's wild nature, Waffles showed no signs of fear. Instead, he seemed completely entranced, as if this new visitor had sparked a part of him that had remained dormant for so long. As the days grew colder and snow began to fall, the bobcat stopped visiting. Waffles, heartbroken, spent his time restlessly wandering from one window to another, searching for any sign of his wild companion. His usual appetite diminished, and Emma noticed that her once vibrant and playful cat was losing weight and energy. Concerned for his well-being, Emma took Waffles to the vet. The diagnosis was clear. Waffles was depressed, and the vet prescribed a mood enhancer to help him regain his spirits. But despite the medication, Waffles continued to sit by the window, waiting for his bobcat friend to return. Emma couldn't bear to see him like this, and she began to wonder if the bobcat had moved on for good. Then, one spring afternoon, something miraculous happened. Waffles, who had been unusually quiet for months, suddenly perked up and began mewing loudly at the window. Emma rushed to see what had caught his attention, and to her amazement, the bobcat had returned. But this time, she wasn't alone. Emerging from the bushes were 3 small kittens, their tawny fur blending perfectly with the surroundings. The bobcat had brought her babies to visit Waffles, as if she somehow knew that this place and this cat were safe for her young ones. Waffles, ecstatic, pressed against the window pane, purring and rubbing up against the glass as he watched the bobcat family. Emma could hardly believe what she was seeing. The bobcat mother lay lazily in the sunshine, her kittens playfully exploring the yard while Waffles watched over them like a proud guardian. It was a surreal moment, one that left Emma filled with wonder at the unlikely friendship that had blossomed between her domesticated cat and this wild creature. As the days went on, the bobcat continued to visit with her kittens, and Waffles returned to his old self, happy, healthy, and full of life. He no longer seemed content to simply lounge around the house but would eagerly wait by the window each day, hoping to catch a glimpse of his wild friends. Emma was relieved to see Waffles so happy, but she also knew that the relationship between Waffles and the bobcat had to remain at a distance. As much as Waffles longed to meet the bobcat face to face, Emma understood the risks. A bobcat, no matter how friendly, was still a wild animal, and its strength and instincts could easily overpower a house cat like Waffles. So she made sure to keep the windows closed and the doors securely locked whenever the bobcat visited, ensuring that Waffles could admire his friend safely from behind the glass. This unusual bond between Waffles and the bobcat became the talk of the neighborhood, and Emma often found herself explaining the story to curious friends and neighbors. She had never imagined that her house cat would form such a strong connection with a wild animal, but the bond was undeniable. In many ways, the bobcat had brought out a side of Waffles that Emma had never seen before, a side that was more adventurous, more curious, and more in tune with the natural world. As the bobcat's kittens grew, they became regular visitors as well, and Waffles watched over them as if they were his own. The sight of Waffles and the bobcat family lounging near the window, separated only by a pane of glass, became a daily routine for Emma and her cat. It was a reminder of the unexpected friendships that can form in the most unlikely of circumstances. Emma had initially feared that Waffles' attachment to the bobcat would lead to trouble, but instead it had brought a new sense of joy and wonder to their lives. Waffles had found a kindred spirit in the bobcat, and though they lived in two different worlds, their connection was as strong as ever. In the end, Emma realized that Waffles didn't need to meet the bobcat face to face. He was content to watch from a distance, knowing that his wild friend would always return. The bond they shared was enough to keep him happy, and that was all that mattered. As the seasons changed and the kittens grew into young bobcats, Waffles continued to wait by the window each day, eager for his next glimpse of the creatures that had captured his heart. Emma, too, found herself looking forward to the visits, grateful for the unexpected friendship that had brought so much joy to her home. Waffles' story was a testament to the power of connection, even between the most unlikely of companions. In a world where house cats and wild bobcats rarely crossed paths, Waffles had found a friend in the most unexpected place. And in doing so, he had reminded Emma, and everyone who heard their story, that sometimes the greatest friendships are the ones we never see coming.